Hi everyone, good morning to all of you. So today is 16th of February and I welcome you all to the Hindu newspaper analysis discussion. Guys, in this particular session, we are going to discuss the articles with respect to the mains examination. We are going to discuss articles with respect to prelims examination, and in mapping, we are going to see Mediterranean Sea. Also, in this particular session, we are going to take up the quotation for our mains answer writing and essay and current affair based MCQ questions for practice. And also, I would like to tell you that you can download the entire notes of this particular session from Telegram channel. Link for Telegram is given in the description box in YouTube. Now, let's get started. So, first, we are going to take the current affairs questions so that they can help you better in the in your prelims revisions. Okay, now these particular questions are prepared on the basis of articles that we have already covered. Now today we are going to discuss. The first question is, what is Harihoba, often seen in the news? So we have discussed it also. Consider the right option and leave your answer in the comment box. So pause a video for a minute, identify the right option, and then leave your answer in the comment box. Okay, and ensure that every day you attend the questions, because if this thing is there in your mind that I have to attend the questions, previous day you will read articles very carefully. Consider the following countries. Which of the above among are the members of the ASEAN? So we have discussed it also. Then consider the following statement about KG Namu. So we have discussed this also in the yesterday's newspaper. Okay, how many statement above are correct? So pause the video, identify the correct answer, and leave your answer in the comment box. Then moving on, and let's take the answers for the day before yesterday's questions that we have taken. Indian government bond yields are influenced by which of the following? So answer is D, 1, 2 and 3. All these things are going to influence the bond price, and if the bond price will influence, bond yield will be influenced. We have already discussed it. Then further moving on, Tropic of Cancer passes through which of the following country? Mexico, UAE, Egypt, Taiwan. So a right answer is D, all of the above. Okay, then consider the following statement with respect to the Forest Right Act. All provision in WPA that contravene provision are null and void. FRA violations are also crime under SC/ST Act. Okay, now which of the statement is correct? So correct answer is C, both options. We have also discussed this one. So this is, guys, all about the questions and answers. Now let's start with the article discussion one by one. Now, every class, guys, before starting the session, we take a GS quotation which you can use to complement your answers. Now, today we are going to take quotation from Lord John Boyd. So Lord John Boyd says that peace can't be built up on empty stomach. Peace can't be built up on empty stomach. So first is that if there are hunger, if there is deprivation, that hunger deprivation will lead to frustration. That frustration will lead to fundamentalism, and that fundamentalism will lead to violence, and that violence will be counterproductive to peace. So if peace is to be brought, basic necessities of people such as food security, etc., should be provided. Now, if we see, guys, in 2020, World Food Program also got the Nobel Prize because they had provided food security, and by that food security they have avoided a lot of potential crisis. So peace cannot be built on empty stomach. For building the peace, essential condition is fulfilling the food requirements, removing the hunger. Now, first article, guys, that we are going to discuss is that now this is a very important development that has come. Supreme Court strikes down electoral bond scheme, calls it unconstitutional. Now, on this particular theme, there are lot of articles in the today's newspaper. One article is here, one article is in editorial. Then after the editorial pages also there are 5-6 articles that have been there. What I have done, I have clubbed all these articles. I am not using a lot of photographs so that the notes don't become cluttered, because we have a limited space in the notes. But all the articles I have clubbed here, and I am going to discuss this particular thing in detail. Moreover, if you don't know anything about the electoral bond, I am going to cover this particular thing from the start. Don't worry. Now, so first of all, before going in this particular article, we need to understand the basic background information. So I'm pretty sure that if you are preparing for the UPSC examination, you might have once heard this word electoral bond. Now, what are electoral bond? Electoral bond are instruments, these are tools, these are mechanisms by which any person can provide funding to a political party. Now, these particular bonds, electoral bonds, can be purchased from the State Bank of India. And these bonds can be purchased in the multiple of 1000 rupees, 1 lakh rupees, 10 lakh rupees, 1 crore rupees. If any person want to buy these electoral bonds, you need to make the payment by check or by electronic transfer. You cannot buy these bonds in the cash. You cannot buy these bonds in the cash. So at these multiples you can buy. Now understand this particular thing, that these electoral bonds will be given to a political party, and political party can redeem these particular bonds in their bank account. Now these particular bonds are the these particular bonds, they are anonymous. What does it means? It means that when I giving this bond to a political party, my name, my company name, nothing will be written. So they basically, it has been provided that what it does, it brings a scope of anonymous funding, now understand this thing, guys, that before this electoral bond came, it was provided that a political party, they have to give the information about any donation above the rupees 20,000. Any donation above 20,000 they have received, they have to give the details that who has gave that particular money, irrespective of the fact that whether the money is coming in cash, whether the money is coming in check. You have to give the details. But now these electoral bonds are anonymous, means no name is written. So even if 1 crore rupees is given to the political party will say that we don't know who gave us the money, we cannot give you any information. So because of that, Election Commission in 2017 raised concerns with respect to electoral bond, that there will be the transparency that will be lost, anonymous funding will be coming. Okay, and therefore this particular matter has been raised in the Supreme Court since 2018. Now ADR, Association of Democratic Reforms, which is an NGO, it provided that basically majority of money that has been received by the electoral bonds, 70% of the income, so today 70% of the income of the political party is coming through unknown sources, including the electoral bond, and majority of the funding that has been raised, it is going to ruling party. So matter reached to Supreme Court that whether electoral bonds are constitutionally valid or not. Now what has happened, Supreme Court has given its ruling, and in this particular unanimous judgment, Supreme Court has provided that electoral bonds go against the constitution, and therefore this particular electoral bond scheme is unconstitutional. It is manifestly arbitrarily. It gives the blanket anonymity to political donors, the one who are giving the political donation, and therefore it is not allowed in a constitutional democracy. This particular entire scheme has been struck down. Now understand this particular thing, that basically for bringing this electoral bond scheme, many amendments were made. For example, amendment was made to the Representation of People Act. Amendment was made to Representation of People Act. It was made to the Companies Act, Income Tax Act. Okay, we'll see what these amendments are. But Supreme Court has provided that these particular amendments, they have violated the voters' right to information about the political funding under Article 19, Subclause 1, Subclause A. Now, basically, guys, it has been provided that, and Supreme Court in many of the judgments, such as the Bennett-Coleman case, and many judgments, has provided that right to know, right to get informed is a fundamental right under Article 19. Okay, Article 19. And in that basically right to know, people also have right to know that who is donating the money to political parties that are running the government. But here, as 70% money is coming to electoral bonds which don't bear the name of the donor, so this particular right to know is getting hampered. Now basically, Chief Justice of India provided this particular thing, that non-disclosure of the money through electoral bond promoted corruption, culture of quid pro quo. Now what is this quid pro quo? First of all, quid pro quo means something for something. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. You give something to me, I give something to you. This is quid pro quo. Now actually, guys, what has happened? Basically, there is one particular concept that you need to understand, that is crony capitalism. Now, what is crony capitalism? Crony capitalism is a phenomena when government and corporate houses, they form a kind of a nexus. What will happen? Corporates will influence government to form the policies that favor them, or some particular corporate house will influence the government to come out with a policy which is favorable to them. Okay, and why government will do that? Because government in back is getting the funding, is getting the money from the corporate, or some other help government is getting from the corporate. This is crony capitalism, where government works for the capitalist class. Now, what can happen through electoral bond? Quid pro quo can come. Now you will ask a question that how, if corporate house is giving money, they might expect something from the political party, because on electoral bond no name is written. Now guys, understand this thing, this is half of the story. If you remember, electoral bond can be availed from the State Bank of India only. Now State Bank of India is a government bank, so it is being said by the activists that at the behind, fine, government will have the information that who bought how much amount of electoral bond. So ruling party does not has information only about their funding, but they also have information about the other parties, that from whom they are getting funding. For example, let's say if 10 bonds are bought, now let's say ruling party got 8, means 2 bonds they did not got. So these 2 bonds, they might have gone to the opposition party. Now who are these 2 members, 2 persons who bought these bonds? Government knows their name at the behind, so it might lead to this quid pro quo, crony capitalism. Okay, so this is something that is being provided. Also, it has been provided by the Supreme Court that this particular scheme has promoted economic inequality. Now see this particular thing, that corporations today, they will get a huge advantage over the ordinary citizens. They are the ones who are going to give a lot of money, and they can influence the government to form the policies favorable to them. Now basically guys, it has been provided that, see, there should be a balance between informational privacy and the voters' right to information. And voters' right to information should not be clubbed. Now it has been said that government brought this electoral bond scheme, saying that it will curb the black money. Earlier it was said that basically now it is being said that now as all the money just a minute. Yes. So it was provided that as now earlier that a lot of money was coming by the cash, and now what has happened, now majority of money will be coming through electoral bond, which cannot be brought in the cash. Black money will be curbed. But Supreme Court has given this particular logic that you can restrict the fundamental right to know, but they can be restricted only on the reasonable restriction. And curbing of black money was not a reasonable restriction to limit the fundamental right under Article 19. Now let's see some other amendments that were done to bring this particular electoral bond. So what happened? Number 1, section 29C fine, of the Representation of People Act. Section 29C of the Representation of People Act was amended. Now basically what this particular provision earlier provided, earlier it required political parties to publicly disclose contribution in excess of 20,000 rupees even if they are received through check, but that got amended. Money received through electoral bond are not to be given information about. Okay, second, what happened? Section 13A of Income Tax Act amended. Now what is section 13A? So it freed the political party from keeping a detailed record of contribution that they received through electoral bond. So they don't need to keep any information. Guys, just a minute. So they don't need to receive any information about the money that they are getting through the electoral bond. So what it does, it also brings an element of anonymity. Then next, what has happened? Section 182 of the Companies Act also got amended. Now basically earlier there was a limit that how much profit a company can donate, and it was provided that they can donate up to or maximum 7.5% of their 3 years of net aggregate income. So last 3 years profit, 7.5% of that profit you can give. But now this particular cap has been lifted, and unlimited funding can be given by a corporate to the government can twist the corporate that you have to give, let's say, 40% of your profit if you want favorable policies or not. So it opens up lot of such doors for unholy nexus. So therefore Supreme Court has provided this particular thing that such kind of scheme should not be allowed. It is going against the spirit of the constitution. Now basically it has been provided that such interventions to cleans up the politics and elections, in past also Supreme Court has taken multiple steps. For example, what happened, it earlier led to introduction of the none of the above option in the ballot paper, so that if the people are not happy with any of the candidate, they can choose it. Also then it was provided this particular thing that basically the protection was there to the legislatures that they can avoid the immediate disqualification if they have got convicted from a criminal offense. That got removed. Mandatory disclosure of assets, criminal asset antecedents of candidate, if they have some case pending, that is to be declared. Okay, so all these reforms have been brought by the Supreme Court in the past, and all these are the good reforms in the direction of cleansing up the elections and politics. So that is all, guys, about this. Fine, I hope you have understood it, and now we'll move to the next article. Okay. An intervention that will help strengthen legal education. An intervention that will help strengthen legal education. Now, this particular article, guys, we are going to see with respect to GS paper number 2, issues related to education. Issues related to education. Legal education reforms. So basically what has happened recently, for GS paper number 2 we'll see this. So recently what has happened, the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Personal Public Grievance Law and Justice has submitted its report on the reform on legal education that is needed, and recommendations given by this particular committee is very good, and we can use it in the issues related to the higher education. So basically, guys, when we talk about legal education, in the past we have seen that medical education, engineering education, management related education, it has actually got reformed considerably. Lot of changes have come, but legal education did not got reformed considerably. What happened in 1990s, national law universities were brought, which has improved the status of legal education. These are the premier institutions for the legal education. Fine, and NLU graduates today, they get high paying jobs in the law firms. They are also going abroad. They are studying at top university. They are getting good scholarships. But apart from that, apart from the students who are not at NLU, beyond that, they don't have much of the career possibilities. So basically there are hundreds of other law schools which are just promoting the mediocrity, Okay, so we need to reform these schools. Now guys, just if I tell you that how our institutions are breeding mediocrity, so you see this thing that Jindal Global Law School and National Law School of India University, fine, beyond that not even a single institution ranked in the top 250 law school rank in the QS world ranking. So Quickrelly Simons, it is a ranking of the universities and institutions of higher education. So in top 250, only 2 institutes of India are there. Now this is not the overall category, it is just the law school category. Only 2 we have. So basically what is happening now, we need to reform the legal education. So what this committee has recommended, one by one we are going to see. First, this committee has recommended that the Bar Council of India, which is regulating legal education today in India, from that this role is to be taken. So legal education and its regulation should be given to independent body, and it has called that we should bring National Council for Legal Education and Research, NCLER. This will be a dedicated body, and this dedicated body will develop the qualitative benchmarks as how, on what parameters, on what pillars the legal education is to be reformed. Also, it has been provided that it will have judges, it will have practicing lawyer, fine, it will have eminent law professors with a very good track record, fine, and they are going to work under this NCLER, and it will develop the standards. Then also it has been provided that when we talk about the legal colleges in India, law colleges in India, largely they are focusing on just teaching. No focus is being given on the research, and therefore India is just the consumer of legal knowledge which is being created in the West. So legal jurisprudence, guys, you see often Supreme Court also comes out with a lot of doctrines, a lot of precedents. Many of them are just borrowed from the West. So therefore, we need to invest in the research in legal education in India. We need to invest in the research in legal education in India. Next, this committee has also suggested that globalization is going to have impact on legal education. So today we need the global curriculum. Now you see this thing that international law has become more and more relevant. Boundaries are getting broken down. Inter-country disputes are there. So basically now we need to have a global curriculum in the law, and in India such global curriculum should be studied more. Okay, also we need to promote student and faculty international exchange programs. Okay, so students from other countries can come to India, Indian students can go to other country, faculty exchange program. Now, for all this particular thing to happen, certain reforms are to be brought. Number one, leadership position in our universities, law faculties, law schools should be held by passionate, charismatic leaders who are eager to bring some reforms. Visionary academicians should hold these positions. Then secondly, we should boost the culture of legal research in our law schools. Find freedom, autonomy for research should be given. Now, once Jawaharlal Nehru said that a university stands for humanism, tolerance, reason, and for the adventure of ideas, and this spirit should be harnessed by the higher educational institutions in law. So this is, guys, all about it, and I hope you have understood it. A very good answer on very good article on the higher education related issues. Now we'll move to the next one. Okay, so is it ethical to use AI in voice cloning for creative purposes? We are going to see this particular article with respect to the GS paper number 4, ethics, integrity and aptitude, and within the applied ethics we are going to see it. Okay, so first of all, let me give you some context first, and then we'll go in this particular article. So actually what has happened recently, you might be knowing about the music maestro, Mr. A.R. Rahman. So recently A.R. Rahman tweeted that he has come out with a song, Thimri Yezuda. Now this particular song is from the Tamil film Lal Salam, and this particular song has been sung in the voices of singer Bamba Bakya and Shahul Hamid. Now, these two singers were the prolific singers, but they have passed away. Bamba Bakya passed away in 2022 and Shahul Hamid died in 1998. So how in their voice the song has been sung? So this particular song has come because of artificial intelligence software. So AI was used to recreate the voices of these two singers. Now their voice has been used with the permission of their family, and their family has also been compensated as their voice is being used. But this particular thing has raised a debate amongst the artists that what will be the future usages of the artificial intelligence. Is it ethical to use artificial intelligence to clone the voice for creative purposes, particularly the voice for the people who are no more, who have died? Okay, so we are going to discuss that what are the views in this particular direction. Number one, it is said that a lot of artists, they are just like the comets. Fine, they come, they glow, they deliver hits, and then they just vanish. Okay, understand, there will be no artist, or very rarely there will be any artist or a singer who will be relevant for all the time. They come and then they go. So these artists sometimes are physically not here. Fine, means they have died, but bringing their voices back brings lot of incredible memories. It is a moment of joy for the fans. So why not to give them that? Now why not to give them that? So therefore, what is the harm in AI? Secondly, it has been provided that when we talk about the AI is not doing something revolutionary. It is just mimicking the human talent. So It is copying the human talent, and one who copies, you cannot expect will replace. So that is something very far-fetched thing. Also, it has been said that see, AI is being used in music, but AI is a tool. For example, atom bomb fine would have been used to a bad use. Gun is a tool, but a terrorist having a gun will use for destructive purpose. Similarly, the scientific advancement in atomic energy can be good, but if it is put to the use in atom bomb, it is bad. So invention is not a problem. How we use that invention, it is a problem. How we use this particular invention, it is the problem. Fine. So basically, guys, understand this particular thing, that basically even today without the AI, what people are doing, people are creating the versions of the songs, popular songs. Somebody is making unplugged version, somebody is making lounge edition of the song, and they are making billions of dollars. Even it is not your work, that is not ethically allowed. So when we talk about the AI is not going to introduce some concerns in the music industry from the scratch. Okay, already they are there, first. Secondly, even when we talk about right now, we are using the technologies in the music industry. For example, auto tuner is common tool that is used in music industry. It is also the form of AI, artificial intelligence. What is auto tuner? Suppose I don't know how to sing, my voice will be made melodious. It will be adjusted as per the rags and tals by using the auto tuner. Now auto tuner, it is also fed on a type of AI. So basically it has been provided that it is provided that what we need to do, we need to legalize these usages of AI. We need to have the legal systems in the place, so that if they are being used, they are being compensated. So if person is alive, their permission can be taken. Okay, or if a person is alive, he himself will sing the song. Why you need to hear the AI song of a person who is already living? But when a person has passed away, and if their voice is to be credited, there needs to be a clear rule that their family's permission should be taken. Also, guys, when we talk about the AI within the music, only singing is not one part. Editing of the music, fading the music, blending the music, fine, sound engineer needs a lot of tool. There AI can help. So positive works can also be there. AI mixing, fine, redemption, and all such things can be used. So therefore it has been provided that there is a responsibility amongst the users to use AI in the right way. And as AI is increasing, AI videos such as deepfakes are also increasing, and intellectual property rights of the people should be kept in mind, and a dedicated authority should be created to regulate the usage of AI in the creative field. So that is all, guys, about it. And now we'll move to the next one. So here we have one particular article from the prelims section. Okay, now guys, here we take the articles from the other sources also. Weimer Triangle. So a question might come in the newspaper that recently Weimer Triangle was in news. What it is? So basically, what is Weimer Triangle? Weimer Triangle, it is a grouping of three countries, that is a Poland, France, and Germany. Now basically they have decided to come together to enhance the Europe's security and defense capacities through their collective cooperation. Now foreign ministers of these three countries, that is Poland, France, and Germany, they have met to revitalize this Weimar Triangle. Now this Weimar Triangle, it is not entirely a new. This particular initiative was brought in 1991 to promote collaboration, strengthen bonds between Germany, France, and Poland. Now they are going to revive it. Now this particular word Weimar Triangle comes from the Weimar city of Germany, where this particular got originated, and it was brought to focus on reconciliation, cooperation into the post World War II world. Okay, so Weimar Triangle, fine, a grouping cooperative mechanism of three countries, Poland, France, and Germany. Then archaeologists recently discovered 8th century Kotravai sculpture, an artifact that dates back to the Pallava period, where near Ulundurpet, Tamil Nadu. So basically, what has happened? An artifact from the Pallava period has been found in the Tamil Nadu, fine, Ulundurpet. So we need to little bit understand about the Pallava dynasty with respect to ancient history. Pallav dynasty. Now, when we talk about Pallav dynasty happened to be a prominent power in the southern part of India, and it stayed in power from 3rd to 9th century and ruled over Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and what was their capital? Their capital was the Kanchipuram. Now, when we talk about the Pallavas originated as a feudatories of Andhra Satavahanas. So basically, guys, earlier in the old times, let's say there is a kingdom which is very big. Now, this one king or a class of rulers cannot rule over this particular king. So basically, what will happen? These kings will become the feudal lords, and they will nominate the feudatories on their part, that okay, they will govern a particular region. But many these feudatories, they gained autonomy, they gained independence. So same way they originate as the feudatories of the Satavahanas, and they then got their autonomy, fine, when the Satavahana kingdom started decline. Now their zenith came under, peak reached under Mahendravarman I, Narsimha Varman I. Okay, and they have sponsored a lot of architecture. Fine. Now, when we talk about Pallavas, they have supported to Buddhism, Jainism, Shaivism, and in a way, they have been called as the secular rulers. They have been called as secular rulers, and during their time, a lot of advancement happened in music, painting, literature. They patronized art and culture, and the most important is that they have given huge contribution to Dravidian style of architecture, which is used into the temple construction. Also, they transition from rock cut to stone temples. Okay, so this is something that is there. Now the Pallavas, they engaged in the conflict with the Chalukya dynasty to the north, and then there are the Tamil kingdoms of Cholas and Pandyas in the south, and eventually their rule got declined. And finally their rule got culminated in 897. So this is about them. Now, moving on, global meat urges India to augment pulse production to meet nutritional needs. So basically, guys, often the bodies, etc., they are also asked. So what has happened? Global Pulse Conference has been held. Now, this Global Pulse Conference, it is the annual meeting of pulse producers, processor, traders, and it has suggested that India should focus on increasing the production of pulses to meet their nutritional security requirement. Now, this Global Pulse Conference, who organizes it? This was organized jointly by the National Agricultural Cooperative Marketing Agency of India, NAFED, and the Global Pulse Confederation. And when we talk about the pulse production has increased rapidly in the last decade, and it has increased by 60% in the last decade, from 171 lakh tons to 270 lakh tons. Okay, and NAFED and GPC, they will try to cooperate that how the pulse can be made as the wonder diet of the world, not only wonder diet of India but the wonder diet of world. Now, when we talk about pulses, India has become self-reliant, fine, can meet its demand in for chickpea, fine. There is a little bit of a deficiency in pigeon pea, tur, and black gram. Okay, so this is about it. And now let's move to next. So now, guys, in mapping today, we are going to see Mediterranean Sea. Now, today in mapping, we are going to see Mediterranean Sea. So basically, guys, here we can see the Mediterranean Sea that we have. Okay. Now, when we talk about Mediterranean Sea, guys, there are 21 countries that surround the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, and this entire region surrounding the Mediterranean Sea is called as the Mediterranean region. And when we talk about Mediterranean Sea, it is an intercontinental sea which is bound by the continent, and it stretches from the Atlantic Ocean in the west, on the west, to Asia on the east, fine, and it also separates Europe and Africa. Now you see this thing, fine. So here we have Atlantic Ocean. So on the western side there is Atlantic Ocean. Then here we have the Asia. Now upper part is Europe, lower part is Africa. So it separates Europe from Africa, and on the west is Atlantic, and on the east side there is Asia. Now, fine. So basically here you can see the Strait of Gibraltar. Here you can see the Strait of Gibraltar. So basically when we talk about in the west to east extent, so there is a Strait of Gibraltar between Spain and Morocco. To the northeast, it is connected with the Black Sea through the Dandelies and the Sea of Marmara and the and the Strait of Bosphorus. We'll see this particular thing. So here you can see the Sea of Marmara. Here you can see the Sea of here you can see Black Sea. Now, the most important thing, as multiple number of times the questions have been asked with respect to the neighbors of the Mediterranean Sea or the countries surrounding Mediterranean Sea. So guys, we are going to start. So first here we have Spain, then we have here France, then here we have Italy, then here we have Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia. Okay, we have here Montenegro, fine, Albania, we have here Greece, then here we have Turkey, then here we have Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Egypt, Libya, Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco. Okay, so basically guys, what I just want that you please download these particular notes, okay, and see this particular notes or this particular photograph for 5 minutes, just for 5 minutes. Okay, now when we talk about the Mediterranean Sea, in summers the water of Mediterranean Sea becomes more saline. Why more saline? Because guys, the influx of water is not there, and because of the intense evaporation, the water becomes more saline and the density increases. Okay, so this is about it. Now when we talk about the Mediterranean region, the region is hilly and it experiences hot dry summer and mild cool winters. Okay, so that is all guys about it. So with this we come to an end to the today's session. Guys, I hope that you have liked the video, and guys, if you have liked, please do hit the subscribe button and please do tell us in the comment box that how well you are liking the session. So thank you so much guys.